Hello, folks, and welcome to my channel. Here we're gonna be making a shepherd's pie. The shepherd's pie is only for my husband and myself, so please do not be coming at me. Well, come at me. I really don't. It's fine. Uh, there will be mistakes, and they will be mine and mine alone. Okay, so we're getting ready. We've got all our ingredients out. I'm doing my best to look like I actually know what I'm doing, which I never do, but that's fine. So, here, as you can see, I'm prepping some veg. First up, tomato and garlic onion and garlic go in to the pan. I'm going to be using my lodge today. The lodge was a gift from an old coworker of mine, which, if you don't know, if you live in Korea, everything you own will likely come from somebody else, or it will be side of the street finds, which, I mean, who hasn't picked up a sofa from the side of the street? Come on, you know what it's like. In Korea, it's especially easy to do just because what ends up happening is people get rid of like really nice and basically like totally fine furniture just because they're updating their apartment. And that just means that you have basically a marketplace on the side of the road. Cha-ching. Okay, so my onions and garlic have gone into the pan. They are in with some olive oil. They are trying to sweat out a little bit, maybe get a little brown. I had my potatoes out, but I realized that I needed to add not corn, that'll come later. I needed to add carrots to my base, so I'm just chopping those up real fast, trying to do the two things at the same time, multitask. I feel like I did okay with the multitasking in this case. It worked out. My spices are parsley, thyme, oregano, and rosemary, the ones that I'm adding now. So I just wanted to get my dried herbs in now, let them sweat with the veg, just get those aromatics going. I'm using words that I don't really know what they are, but I'm trying. I'm also cleaning as I go because I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to, feel better about myself. I broke my leg like 4-5 months ago, and it's been a long recovery. It required surgery, and so now I'm kind of like getting back into the swing of things, which means walking. So learning how to walk again has been fun, but it also means that like doing stuff is hard. So you can see that I'm actually like not paying very close attention to my veg. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I'm adding my meat now. I ended up going with a pork beef mixed for the ground meat. It wasn't like, it didn't say that in the recipe, but what I realized is that it would be cheaper to have the mixture, and the flavor is going to be basically the same. But yeah, so I added some salt and pepper just to sort of, salt and pepper. You kind of always need it, especially when you're cooking. And I'm also peeling the crap out of some potatoes like really fast, because in my head what I'm thinking is it's going to be really fast for my meat and my veg to cook, and then my potatoes aren't going to be ready on time. So thankfully I didn't start them beforehand, or I would have felt like a real dodo. But what's happening now is I'm peeling my potatoes as fast as I can, not realizing that there are a ton of liquids that are supposed to go into this beef mixture. So right now the beef is browning with the veg. The aromatics are doing their job. It actually smelled really great at this point. I am kind of happy I did my potatoes ahead of time. You can see I'm using like the old grandma method of peeling a potato. That's how I learned as a kid. My paring knife, though, at this point is not very sharp. So I might need to give that a once over with that little sharpener thingy. But yeah, so I've peeled all my potatoes. I'm cutting them up roughly because I know I'm going to have to boil them. It's not a big deal. And I'm putting them into water. Make sure that you do, if you do pre-cut and peel your potatoes, it's best that they go into water because that way they will not get brown. Fun fact. Okay. So those are getting chopped up. Dun, dun, dun. My beef is browning. I don't know what that was. Okay, so here's me again thinking like, oh my god, I gotta, like, I'm rushing. Which I don't know why. And as you can see here, I've kind of brought up a couple of things. There's a little packet with bay leaves in it, which came with samgyeopsal, which I don't know why, but we don't use it when we're cooking our samgyeopsal. So I just kind of kept that aside, and now I'm using it because, like, this recipe is one where you would traditionally see it. I've got my red wine there, and there's a little black bottle there, and that black bottle is actually the Korean version of Worcestershire sauce. Now, getting some ingredients in Korea has, like, traditionally been a little bit tough. Okay, here I'm actually adding some flour because we're going to make a gravy in a minute, or, well, the beginnings of a gravy in a minute. But I want to talk to you a little bit about Worcestershire. Okay, so foreign ingredients, like way back in the day, were really, really hard to get in Korea. But these days, what I found is that there are Korean versions, and the Korean versions aren't as bad as they used to be. So say this Worcestershire sauce or Usuto sauce is actually, it's actually like spot on correct flavor. Okay, here I'm adding garam masala and a little bit of gochugaru, but I realized later on that I did not add enough gochugaru, so I end up adding some later. Anyway, so as you can see, that's a real saucy dish. And what I do right there is I realize, like, oh, this is going to take a while to cook down. So that's me adding some water into those potatoes. Make sure they're covered with water so they don't brown. And then, yeah, we come back later. Some of the waters or some of the liquids have sort of drained out, which, one more time, the liquids were red wine, Worcestershire sauce, beef stock, and I believe that's it. I'm sorry if I forgot one. Anyway, the recipe is on Recipe Tin Eats anyway, so go for it. Here I'm making myself a little wine drink. Literally, I just added cinnamon and nutmeg to my wine because I want it to make like a little mulled flavor, but honestly, I just made a grainy wine drink. It had the effect, but not the texture, which was sad, but it was still delicious. I don't know why I wanted to do that. It's literally still like 36 degrees Celsius outside. It's still summer here. Okay, so my gravy's finally starting to like boil down, so I decided that it is time to put the potatoes in. The potatoes are gonna cook, I think I kept them for like 15-20. Basically, Once they seemed soft enough to poke the chopstick through, I was like, we're good. And my gravy is still going. I don't know. I'm also... Oh, here I'm removing the bay leaves because you do not want to eat those. It's a leaf. And it's a dried leaf, so it's really not going to taste good. Yeah. So, yes. So, Otteogi has Usta sauce, and that is actually like 100% spot on Western style. So thank God, because I had run out like 2 months ago and I didn't want to buy it online. I don't use it enough to be like, oh, I need to find that. So instead of buying it online or finding in an international market, I just had my husband pick up the Otteogi version at the shop, which was the only ingredient where I was a little bit worried about. I mean, shepherd's pie is actually quite an easy, like a basic dish. I suppose some of the spices I used I have a lot left over. I had a lot left over from when I lived in Seoul, which, that's... If you're lucky, or if you live in a highly populated area, you're more likely to have access to these kinds of things. But honestly, like, you're good. Like, in most places, you'll be either able to find it or order it online. Okay. Okie dokie. So at this point, the beef mixture is solid enough that if you move it, it doesn't really like fold back in on itself, which means that it's ready to take off the heat. However, at this point, I think it was around 6:30. Like, it was kind of getting late, but it wasn't too late. So at this point, I'm starting to worry a little bit about how long it's going to take for us to get, like, supper ready and eat and everything. So I end up like not going for the full fridge cooling period. I'm trying it, I'm tasting it to see what it's missing. So at this point I ended up adding more gochugaru because we love our spice. And then I definitely added some, what do you call it? Oh, MSG. Because, MSG, it's actually really good and it helps the food. And it everything they say that's bad about it isn't real. And then, of course, I added a bit more pepper. Okay, so my potatoes are almost done here. I think I'm about to... take them off the heat, maybe. I can't remember it. I made this video like a couple of days ago, and I don't know why it took me this long to kind of put it together, but this is what we're doing. Okay. So yeah, the beef bottom base. That sounded like I was going somewhere else with that. Okay, the beef bottom. I don't know why that's so funny. Okay, the beef base is pretty much ready. Like, it's still hot, but I'm okay with that. It's not like it needs to set. Like, I know that I can safely put the potatoes on top and it won't be a problem. Like, the potatoes won't melt into the dish. Okay, so here I am. I drain my potatoes. I'm gonna add milk and butter. Now, the butter is not the best butter on the market. Like, you can get legit, like, French-style butter. at the mart, but I went with was kind of like an in-betweener. Growing up, we used to use margarine, so I'm not like a butter snob, but I mean, yes, good butter is always going to be better. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I, I, I mean, if you're gonna be like picky about it, but you know, mid-range butter, I don't want to like get another mortgage on my house to buy butter. Like, I don't want to spend like $40 on 100 grams of butter. So I got the cheaper one, and it works. So here I mess up a little bit. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put the corn on. So here, the corn is something that like is not in the recipe, but it's something I wanted to add just because it was something I grew up in. You're supposed to use peas, but I figured as long as you get a veg, and I think you're actually supposed to mix it through, but that's not how my mom did it, so I just did it the way my mom used to do it, and I made the layers, because you want the 3 layers. So yeah, I've got the beef on the bottom, corn in the middle, and then my potatoes go on top. And now, I'm sorry. Watch me now try to add butter to the top of this thing like a straight up psychopath. I don't know what I was thinking, but again, this butter is rock hard from the fridge. I will not be spreading this butter. So yeah, I put a bunch of dabs of butter on there, and then I use a pair of chopsticks instead of forks, or a fork, to score the top of this thing, because I think I own 2 forks, and I don't know where they were, so I was just like, okay, we're gonna skip that. I added what was left of an oldish bag of Parmesan cheese. And yeah, let's see the reveal. It's super underwhelming. Da, da. Okay, so as you can see, this is an anemic dish. Like, there is no char, nothing on top. And I cooked it for 20 minutes, which was at 250, which was more than enough. And I grilled it for 20 minutes. But the problem being is that I have an induction oven, which, in Korea, an oven is not standard with an apartment. The gas range is, of course, or like some sort of stovetop cooker, but ovens are not. So I bought my own oven. It's seen better days. I'm pretty sure it's water damaged, but it still works, and I haven't started a fire yet, so we're gonna go with it. But it does not make that like really crispy top, which I was going for. It was shiny. The cheese did melt surprisingly, but I think, and my husband and I, we discussed it, and I think what would have or will fix this issue in the future is getting one of those like butane like fire, like people in kitchens use them. They're like they set the fire up and it goes and crisps up the top. All right, but that was my food. So please, I hope this recipe finds you well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please like and subscribe. Hopefully I can make more dishes. If you have any suggestions for how I could have improved things, feel free to comment below. And of course, like, if I messed up in any sort of way, feel free to tell me, because I know I did, but it worked. I mean, it tasted good. So, I mean, I didn't do that like, I'm eating a piece. Look at me. Enjoy eating this piece of my food. But I swear it was food and it worked. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming and I'll see you again. Bye.